Happy Thursday, Pride Dynasty League. It's feeling a little different around here. I mean, it's maybe not so good for my Texans. They're young and brittle, apparently. But much like disabled vigilantes, I have a feeling that they're going to harden themselves in the years to come. We got some maintenance to clean up from last week, so let's get to it. In my upset of the week, I had disabled vigilantes beating up on Agent Smith. As my rival, I had to even the score. That's just the way this had to be. Didn't hurt that his quarterbacks are gone, but you know, let's not talk about that. Both of these teams are in the playoffs and looking to do some damage. Next, we had Dynasty Sage going against those Hollywood Cole brothers, and Hollywood needed a lot of help to get into the playoffs, and as you're going to find out, that did not occur. Easy victory against his rival, Dynasty Sage. I mean, that was to be expected, but next year, something tells me Dynasty Sage might be a little better than advertised. Those Hollywood Cole brothers are going to be out for blood. So far, 2 for 2 with my picks. Next, we have Griffey Cakes going up against Classy Strippers. And Classy Strippers just absolutely demolished Griffey Cakes, running up the score and leaving no doubt. Not looking too good for Griffey Cakes after his inaugural championship the first season. Will he be able to turn it around in year 4? Next, we have West Coast Giants going up against those Chicago Chalupas, and this was very, very important, not only for Chicago Chalupas getting that coveted bye, but for my picks. I picked Chicago Chalupas to win this matchup, and I got it wrong. Mitchell Trubisky? Mitchell Trubisky? Bailey Zappi? Bailey Zappi to the rescue? Get the f*** out of here. With this loss, Chicago Chalupas now faces an elimination game that just may be tougher than he anticipates. Next, we've got Wubba Lubba Dub Dub going up against Unfuckwittable. Wubba Lubba Dub Dub wins this as I predicted. Both of these teams will be looking for playoff glory a little bit next year, hopefully. Next, we've got Redacted ADP 1897 going up against Stacking Yards. And with this quarterback room, ADP is going to be tough to beat. Stacking Yards finds himself outside the playoff window this year. I'll be curious to see what moves Stack makes during this offseason. Meanwhile, Redacted ADP 1897 sees his first playoff berth. And he didn't just squeak in there, my boys. He is one of the top seeds in the playoffs. Will this foreshadow a changing of the guard? And last but not least, we have our game of the week. Dunder Mifflin going up against the Boss. Both of these teams will be in the playoffs, but there is one significant difference. Dunder Mifflin has won the coveted bye, thanks to Chicago Chalupas tripping at the finish line. The lack of offensive production for the Boss definitely hurt. But with a defense like his, the offense doesn't have to do too much unless you're playing Titans of the league. Them boys in Scranton, they're not number 1 for no reason. Weekly fantasy stud, Classy Strippers. A monster 347 points heading into the playoffs, feeling pretty good. Weekly fantasy dud, Dynasty Sage. There's only been a few weeks worse than what Dynasty Sage put out this week. But as the season has come to a close, we have our yearly awards to dole out. Our fantasy stud of the year is none other than Agent Smith, a 4-time fantasy stud winner throughout the year. On the flip side, our fantasy dud of the year is none other than Unfuckwittable, with a whopping 5-time appearances in the fantasy dud category. Hats off to you, Unfuckwittable. And that leads us to the final standings. Griffey Cakes finds himself in that weird position of winning the league and then being last 2 years in a row. Is there any hope that this man has a chance to be competitive in the coveted Pride year? The 2023 champion will face Griffey Cakes yet again. Will it be Classy Strippers? Unfuckwittable will place the runner-up Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, the number 3 team, Dynasty Sage will face off against the last boombastic moneymaker of 2023. But I think you get the picture. The boys in Scranton have earned their coveted bye thanks to Chicago Chalupas not following through. And your 2022 champion, Classy Strippers, your co-commissioner, facing off against your co-commissioner. That leads us to the only standings that matter. The inaugural year of the league. 2021, Griffey Cakes is our champion. 2022, the co-commissioner says not so fast. My strippers need some of this cheddar too. There are only 3 teams this year trying to advance their overall standings in the boombastic moneymakers. We've got the Boss, Agent Smith, and Classy Strippers all can move up in the rankings should they become victorious. But there are 4 upstarts that aren't even on the overall standings yet. Guaranteed, we will have at least one more name added to the overall, and that's those boys in Scranton with that coveted bye, guaranteed to get at least 4th place. Redacted ADP 1897 also looking to add his name to this overall standings, but more importantly, he scraped his name off the Pissants list, along with Dunder Mifflin and along with Disabled Vigilantes. The only team remaining is Dynasty Sage. When will Dynasty Sage make the playoffs? I'll start the Deadpool. Dynasty Sage makes the playoffs in 2027. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, I was 69-29 for the year when it came to my picks. That's not a bad win rate percentage. Although I didn't get that elusive 7-0 for a week, I did a much better job of predicting the winners. My ability to predict the playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
I'm looking for a flawless victory. In the first matchup, we've got Agent Smith going up against those Chicago Chalupas. And for Agent Smith to win this game, his defense is going to have to put up around 200 points. I just can't see Chicago Chalupas letting this one slip away after losing the bye. Chicago Chalupas with the victory. You've been one hell of a rival, Agent Smith. Hats off. Next, we have the Boss, going up against Redacted ADP 1897. And this should be easy enough. ADP's been storming the gates this year, going from pissant to possibly champion? Whoa, pump the brakes. The Boss is a playoff veteran. So much, in fact, that I'm giving the Boss my upset of the week. You've had one hell of a run, ADP, but the buck stops here. The Boss gets this victory. Lock it up! And last, but certainly not least, we've got our game of the week. Classy Strippers going head-to-head with Disabled Vigilantes, co-commissioners at each other's throats. You guys see those things back there? Each one of those, I had to go through Classy Strippers in the finals to get those belts. I beat you earlier this season. I'm gonna beat you down this week too. There's no way I'm letting Classy Strippers repeat in this league. They gonna ask if I can beat your ass back to back. You're not repeating this year, bro. Disabled Vigilantes moves on in this matchup. Those are my picks. Like it or love it. Even though you may not be in the playoffs in this league, I'm sure you're in the playoffs somewhere. Good luck to everyone in their fantasy football endeavors, with the exception of those Classy Strippers. Them girls look a little wobbly up there on that pole. Get the f*** out of here. That's all I have for you today. Be easy. Peace.